fill my car today. Usually
Yeah.
it's colder.
Yeah, nothing tonight. It's not gonna be. Holy Hannah.
I could fill them tonight. No.
You guys ready?
It's rocking.
Sean, ready?
He is now.
All right,
cares?
we'll
Let's
call it
just
to
go.
order. Safety and Public Works, City of Brainerd. It's December 6th, 2021, 6:30 PM, council chambers. We have 7 items on our agenda tonight. First of which is an event application, the 5K for mental health awareness. Take it away, Mr. Engineer.
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chair. So this one's pretty simple. If you all recall the Homeless Heroes 5K that they held every year, this one uses the same exact route. In fact, CLC is putting it on. They utilize the CLC campus parking lot. They run around on Mississippi Parkway, use the trails on College Drive, and use the Boom Lake Trail. So really not a lot of concern here from anyone. However, as we've done with the Homeless Heroes 5K in the past, Police Bestel just keeps it on their schedule so that they can help them get across College Drive if need be. So that was just something that he said, but otherwise, staff just recommends approval of the application as submitted.
All right. You guys have any questions about it?
No questions.
Who was the applicant on this one?
It was, I believe it's in,
Elizabeth Marie.
Okay.
yeah, Central Lakes College. Yeah.
Oh, CLC, okay, yeah,
Yep.
never mind. Got it. Got a motion?
Sure. I move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, we'll go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Second item, one of the more exciting items of the entire season, is a event application for the holiday hayrides at Buffalo Hills Park. This is one that I actually submitted.
Say, who's the joker that submitted
Did
this
not sign it, but I will.
I was gonna put that on there.
This won't be approved until December 27th.
But I don't know if you want me to tell about this one or if you want to
Yeah,
talk
you can
about
go
it.
ahead.
So this is the East Bank Neighborhood Association that I started along with a few other people earlier this year, and we haven't been very active. Through Brainerd Community Action, we were given $500 to basically form an association. The East Bank is basically between south of downtown, east of the river, and west of South 6th Street, all those neighborhoods combined. And we're going to have some hayrides at Buffalo Hills Park, and there'll be some roasting of mallows and s'mores and hot chocolate, which it sounds like Brainerd Community Action will bring. This is from 6 to 8 on Friday this week.
Wow.
So I got to sign that paper, and we got to get this done. But I also need to, looks like, and I did talk to this individual who is running the hayrides. He'll bring in his insurance. They are insured, and we'll make sure we have a fire extinguisher next to any fires that we have.
It's not supposed to be as cold.
Yeah. I was curious, Paul, about the facilities at the park. Mm-hmm. How many, is there decent lighting right now? I haven't been through there at night.
Yeah, so I mean, there's lighting on the pavilion itself. We would just ask that you just take a key to open that up. And so
Okay.
Kim down in the Parks Department has a key. It's a $25 deposit, but then you get a key to the building and you can open it up, turn the lights on,
Okay, perfect.
utilize those.
All right.
Only thing, I mean, it sounds awesome. I'm actually hoping to attend. This is a really small thing. So I don't even know if it needs to be mentioned, but the route, Buffalo Hills, Crestview, and then in order to get from Crestview to Graydon, there's actually a small section of Pineview. So I don't know,
Pineview. Oh, yeah.
just to connect at Crestview, and I assume that'd be the.
Yeah, it wraps right around the block there. And there's also an option of going down that trail. I don't know,
Oh, maybe. Okay.
but
If that's the way they're planning to go, then that answers my question then. So.
It's non-motorized travel.
what's that?
It's non-motorized travel, so you can legitimately
go.
use the trail if you want
Should
it.
be legal.
Load limits.
You got options. All right.
Motion to approve the attached application with the following conditions which you named: fire extinguisher, working with the police on any issues, submitting the insurance by the vendor, and then, of course, signing the application.
Second.
All right. Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 3 is a resolution for the 2021 transit capital bus purchase. Looks like this was supposed to be an 80-20 split that we thought, and we only have to pay 10% now.
Yeah, so you'll recall from the last meeting, Mr. Chair, we had a resolution that was for this bus purchase. MnDOT informed us after we submitted the resolution that this next year is a 90-10 split for capital, so we needed to just update the resolution. And actually, the price of the bus came down too. The price of the bus is $92,637. I believe the old one was $94 or something or another. So there was an option on there we didn't need. So 90-10, Brainerd pays 46%. The other agreements that we have pay the rest of that 10%. So I think it's like $5,000 and some change.
Awesome. Nice. Any more discussion? We got a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none. Go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 4. Looks like this is approval of the final pay application. IMP 21-04-2021 street striping project. Go ahead and take that away, Paul.
Yeah, so biannually, we join on with Crow Wing County's striping contract to stripe all of our streets. It's all of the long line stuff and the symbols, so the arrows. We do the crosswalks ourselves, but the symbols and the long line, we jump on Crow Wing County's contract. It's beneficial for both us and the county. They get some extra quantity on their contract, which inevitably will reduce costs, and then we get the benefit of having a large quantity like Crow Wing County has. For the striping project. This last year, we striped all of our streets for $17,631.25. There's a 3% contract administration fee, so that was $528. Total contract cost of $18,160.19. We budget $10,000 a year out of our construction fund, so every 2 years we have $20,000 to pay for this project. And that's all we have. So staff's recommending that we approve that final payment to Crow Wing County for that improvement in the amount of $18,160.19.
All right.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. Item number 5 is a resolution supporting Safe Routes to School, SRTS, grant application submission. And Paul, you know more about this than me at this point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so a couple meetings ago, you guys approved the submission of a letter of intent, and that's the first step in the process of applying for Safe Routes to School funds. That letter of intent basically describes the project, how much the city's going to be looking for, and then it's reviewed by MnDOT, and they invite you to fill out the full application. Along with the full application comes a couple of things. We need a resolution from the governing body, which is the city council. A new thing that they asked for this year is a resolution from the school board. We've typically asked for this in the past anyways, just because it's a Safe Routes to School project. Having the school support is good. This is actually a requirement to this one, so the mayor and I actually sat in a school board meeting here a couple Mondays ago and got a resolution of support from the school board for this project. The project, again, is improvements on Oak Street in front of Harrison Elementary. We are looking at implementing our engineering study, in which indicated that some crossing improvements should be done, and you can see the layout up on the screen. We have bump outs on the intersections of 15th and 16th with Oak Street, enhanced pavement markings. There'll be a median, both for pedestrian refuge and for narrowing the lanes along there. So you'll see those lanes there are about, I think they're 10 foot of bituminous, plus the curb and gutter gives us about another 3 feet on each, or 3 feet total. So those will be about that looks like they're 14. Must be, the curb is gonna be 4 feet then. But installation of Rfrbs, which are similar to what you see on Laurel Street here. They're the push button pedestrian flashers. This works very well in correspondence with our project we had this last summer. We installed north and south sidewalks south of Oak Street, going down into the southeast neighborhood. But otherwise, that's really the project in a nutshell. We're asking for $500,000 from Safe Routes, which is the maximum amount. The resolution kind of touches on a little bit of everything. If you've looked at that, I'm going to go to it here. MnDOT's got $8 million of Safe Routes funding available. We're asking for $500,000. The reimbursement is for construction costs, and that's at 100%. Typically, with Safe Routes funding, it's an 80-20 split. This is state funds, and they're reimbursing 100% of construction funds. So really what we're paying for is the engineering costs on that. We've gotten school board support. We've gone through this whole planning process with the school district and worked together with them to find the best solution at these three schools, being Harrison, Riverside, and Lowell. Basically, the resolution says that the city council supports the construction of this project and agrees to maintain them, which they need to have a useful life of 10 years. The city of Brainerd supports the submittal of the Safe Routes to School application, and the city will pay the costs associated with the project beyond the Safe Routes to School grant award. So that's all I have, Mr. Chair.
Yep.
This is the one I'm gonna abstain from. With my work at Region 5, work really closely with MnDOT and this program, so.
So now, a motion and seconds with a three-man committee.
Yeah, I'd make motion, you can second it.
Okay.
So move to approve.
And a second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
One abstention.
Okay. Number 6. This is the resolution for municipal consent CSAH 117 mill overlay and CSAH 549 roundabout. I believe we have somebody here to speak on this.
Yes.
And state your name and address, please.
I'm Steve Stroshine with the Crown County Highway Department.
He's ironically here to speak against it.
Thank you for having me tonight, guys. So I got a couple projects I want to introduce, and the first one is County Road 117. These two projects are both coming up this summer for construction. 117 is essentially just a resurfacing project. It's from Business 371 to County Road 45. And we're basically going to be doing a mill and overlay through there, repairing some of the concrete curb that's deteriorated over the years. Tricky thing with that project is MnDOT's going to be reconstructing Business 371 at the same time. And 117 is a detour route, so we're going to be working kind of in conjunction with them to get it done. We're not going to close 117, but it's essentially going to be done at the same time, just under a different contract. So that project's pretty straightforward. Second project I have is a roundabout intersection project at Wise Road and Beaver Dam. This is the layout here for it. This project's been in the works for quite some time. We've had a couple different studies done at this intersection because the traffic levels on Wise Road keep going up every single year, and the accident counts are there's quite a history of it actually, and severe accidents as well. So it's been in our 5-year plan now. Well, it's been in our highway improvement plan for 5 years. This year we finally got the plans in, got all the right-of-way purchased, and we're looking to bid it in March and construct it this summer. This will be a full closure, and so detour route will be 210 through Brainerd and 371. Some of the other work we're doing around here, you can see pedestrian facilities around the whole thing. We've been working with the DNR on that crossing. They've got some requirements there. There's some city utilities under Beaver Dam. I've been working with the city and BPU to get those outside of the road corridor in case there's ever future expansion. They can tie into those easy. No cost to the city of Brainerd, no cost share. Everything's paid for by the county local option sales tax. It's about a $1 million project.
All right.
And I believe the road closure would probably start after school gets out and be fully functional by the time school starts again.
That was my question.
Yeah.
Long summer project.
Yeah.
Is it supposed to take like full length of the summer, you think, or is this 2-month project?
I think it's probably a 3-month project because of the underground work. The utilities under there are deep. The city's sewer is 20 feet deep plus. So 2 months for sure. And
2 months, he said.
There's quite a bit of utility work too.
Chair, question. 117, you said you're not gonna close that down, you'll work in conjunction with like getting traffic flowing through there.
Yes, I believe so. Because of the 4 lanes, so I think we can keep it open. So that's the plan right now.
Okay.
So what I'd be looking for is consent, or maybe some kind of, I don't know if you guys
Well, I
make a
think staff-
recommendation for consent, for municipal consent for the city council.
Yep, staff has 3 pretty specific resolutions to, that they have recommended here. And it's 3 separate motions. But if one of you guys has a motion to start.
So, Mr. Chair, if I may, just a quick explanation.
Yep.
The first one is the municipal consent resolution for the Roundabout project. That's a resolution approving the project within the city of Brainerd corporate limits, and I listed the project numbers out there. The second one is for the municipal consent for the County Road 117 improvements. The third one is a no parking resolution that bans parking within the roundabout area or within the project limits of the roundabout. That's a state aid requirement.
Ready for the motion then? Move to adopt the resolution approving the municipal consent for the CASA 49 project. These are separate, you said? Mm-hmm. Yep. All right, leave it at that.
Second.
Motion is second. Any more discussion?
I just have one question. In dealing with the trail, is there any type of signaling or what are the plans in terms of?
There's no electronic
Signage,
signaling.
okay.
It's signage and it's striping, and that's all very specific to what the DNR
Okay.
wanted there.
What kind of striping are we looking at?
We're actually looking at 6-inch solid lines across there, and then there'd be pedestrian refuge in the center, median, and then there's quite a bit of signage. That's also snowmobile trail as well, so it's multi-use, and they have a specific standard they kind of stick to.
Sounds good.
Any more discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah. Mr. Chair, then I'd move to adopt the resolution approving the municipal consent for the County Road 117 project as well.
Second.
Motion is second. Any more discussion on this? Hearing none, go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes.
And lastly, Mr. Chair, I'd move to adopt a resolution which bans parking within the project limits of the CASA 49 roundabout project.
Second.
Motion is second. Any more discussion? Hearing none, go to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Thank you,
Good.
guys.
Yeah, you bet.
I don't know, can I have 2 more minutes of your time? Of course. Just want to tell you that next summer, the following summer, 2023, we got 3 big projects coming up in the city of Brainerd. Just wanted to make you aware of it. But Mill Avenue is one of them. Wise Road again, the full length of Wise Road and the full length of Beaver Dam will all be big projects, and they'll all be bid under one contract, so we can kind of control which closures, are going on at different times. So, just want to make you aware in case you guys have plans coming up. So that's
What's the,
that's coming up.
is it a pavement reconditioning or is it a?
Wise Road will be full depth reclamation, so completely stripped down to bare gravel. Mill Avenue and Beaver Dam will be reconditioning projects.
Riverside Drive will get a lot of extra.
Yeah, for sure, probably. So, but again, I think Mill Avenue and Beaver Dam will probably stay open while we do it, but there'll be another closure on Wise Road, which will impact traffic again big time around Brainerd. So,
Would you be doing Wise Road like half up to and then second half? Or
yeah, we're gonna definitely stage it. Okay. Yep. So. Yep. So I don't know that staging yet. Beaver Dam is probably, where it'll change over.
Yeah.
At the roundabout. So.
Do we send complaints to you directly?
Right now.
Yeah, right now. So. All right. Thanks, guys.
Thank you. All right, we have one more item left on the agenda. This is the review of the streetlight policy, selected fixture costs. And Paul sent us some pictures of these. I did ask for a few better pictures than what we got scanned on this sheet. But Paul, if you want to go through and explain the pricing of these, and then we can have a discussion on which way we want to go.
Yeah, so a couple of council meetings ago, you guys looked over these options that we identified as potential suitors from previous conversations. So I talked with BPU. They went to their suppliers and they obtained the costs you see on the first sheet of the agenda request here tonight. The options 2 and 3, as identified, are considered our residential options, and then options 1, 4, and 5 were considered the Main Street commercial type of light fixtures. You can see there is a substantial price difference between what we currently do and what would be, if you guys were to make a change to a different fixture, there would be, in some circumstances, a minimal cost difference. In some of the more detailed options, they're a lot higher price, such as option 5. That's that dual head street lamp that you guys wanted to take a look at. But yeah, that one. So what kind of the overview of the costs? We figured the pole costs are going to be considered about equal. BPU wants to stick with direct bury poles, which means that they're not on a concrete pedestal. So there's a lot less work that has to be done in installing these things. They dig a hole, they bury the pole, and they backfill it and tamp it and pour the concrete sidewalk around it, or plant grass in the boulevard back around the pole. The mast arm cost stays relatively the same. This might go up a little bit, but it should be pretty close depending on, if you look at like option number 4, there's some more ornate mast arm, material on there. It might go up a little bit, but for the purposes of consistency, we wanted you to focus strictly on the fixture cost. And you can see options 2 and 3 under the residential options. We're looking at $982 for option 2 and $1,104 for option 3. That's in comparison to our existing light fixture, which costs $383. Then you look at the commercial kind of Main Street options, something you would see on like South 6th Street, or our first potential large project with these would be on Highway 210 in 2025. The cost difference goes from $291 and it goes up to about $1,400. So there is a substantial difference in pricing, but I talked with BPU on how these would get paid. What they do on their end is in the costs that get billed to the city, they have an equation that basically bills the capital costs of the poles and the light fixtures back to the city over time. And so those rates would go up if we were to select a different fixture. I also talked with them briefly on how we would implement this. Obviously, they have a stock right now of these existing Pinto heads and Cobra heads. I asked them, how would this play in? How would we, over time, switch to a different light fixture? The idea got brought up, I believe, by Mr. O'Day. Maybe we replace old ones that don't need a full capital replacement yet with the old fixture heads that they have in stock. And then any large capital projects, for example, Highway 210, our North Brainerd project, we start switching over. That was some of the discussion, I guess, that I had with them. Obviously, they would want to get rid of their stock prior to ordering new stuff, in most cases, because you have to pay a restocking fee, which I don't think anyone wants to pay. But I included all the cut sheets with these. I don't know how much you want to get into that, but really there's, like I said, options galore when it comes to streetlights. And I guess open it up for discussion, and I can try to pull up that other picture to help.
So clearly we've had the cheapest streetlights of all time for quite a while, it looks like. And nobody even really knew how we were paying for them. I'm open to having a discussion about what you guys want or what you guys like in these options that we have. Some of the cost differences are higher than others. I'm surprised the poles cost the same. Just changing the poles would even be an improvement from what we have right now. But in my head, I'll just tell you, I like option one. I want to go back up to you. And I like option two. And they're the first step up. Either one of them is the first step up in cost compared to what we currently have. But love to hear your thoughts. Go ahead.
I'm a little reluctant just looking at the price tag. You know, yeah, I don't think our streetlights are the most beautiful things out there, but I don't know. I think I'd like to hear more from the public, like how many people really want to change our streetlights and pay this kind of a differential price on that. I would be very open to seeing this. Are there any alternatives that are closer in price that could give us a bit of a different look too? Because we kind of picked out what we want, and then they looked at the price instead of maybe looking to see what options would we have. Yeah.
Kind of the same. I'm looking at the percentage increase, and it's 40. Option 2 is 43.5% increase. 1 is 42, well, almost 43% increase, which is pretty steep. I like them both. I like what you said. The poles would even be an improvement at no additional cost. Of course, I'm sure there'd be some cost. I'd be interested, and I know we'd be phasing them in, as they go, so obviously it wouldn't be all at once. Or if we just look at maybe the downtown, something like that. It's hard to pick and choose, though, I know.
Major corridors is another option. When we have Highway 210 and we're going to make a large capital investment on the street that has the most traffic in our community, we missed the boat on South 6th Street. That'll be, another, 40 years before we have the opportunity to, really make a change there. But 210 is our largest project that Brainerd is going to see in a very, very long time. Making a large capital investment, making that look nice, might be worth the investment up front.
There's an intangible value about the aesthetics for the community, even in economic development, you could argue, over the long term. I like that suggestion, major corridors, but I agree that 43% increase is high, and I'm thinking citywide, of course, but if we do major corridors or downtown, or if we find other options too still, but I know you've given us a lot.
Paul, is there any way you could give us a rough estimate, say on our southeast projects that we did this year? Had we switched to the new, say, option 2 in a residential option, which would be an increase of $600 or so per light, what would the total cost difference have been roughly for that project? Those projects, I should say.
So they didn't really replace any streetlights in Southeast. They relocated a few, and they maybe replaced a few poles on a couple of lights. But really, those were the same style, and the light fixtures were the same at that time. And so a lot of these projects, BPU is just relocating them based on our new construction. So if a sidewalk needs to get moved, or we have a sight distance issue or something, we're moving light fixtures and just keeping the same pole and moving it back. Right offhand, how many intersections? I mean, we're basically at a pole per intersection right now. Most of the requests that come in are for mid-block kind of stuff, which is what the policy kind of addresses. And so, I mean, you're probably looking at 10 intersections total at a difference of $600. It's about $6,000. I mean, just rough. If you have 10 intersections, which it's probably pretty close.
So when our entire project was $800,000, it would cost us $806,000.
Well, yeah, I mean, over time, we wouldn't see that up front. We'd see it in our monthly BPU bills.
Yeah,
that
and
we pay them.
I will say, when I originally got this, I same thing. Well, I guess we're not gonna do that. But when I talked with Paul about it and the way that this is assessed and the way that the city
Pays it over
essentially pays
time.
for it over time, it's not gonna be something, if we were to go with this, it's not gonna be something that's really felt, directly in the way that this is something, in my eyes, it's gonna be out there and it's gonna last a long time and it's something people can enjoy instead of complain about. And there's a lot of other ways that we can save money in this city, and I think we're doing a good job at that. But
Another option, Mr. Chair, is
Yeah.
we could talk with BPU about is maybe they maintain the rate the same, and we pay the difference in capital costs up front. For example, on Highway 210, if we have 150 poles and the cost difference is $1,100, we pay them the additional $110,000 up front for the lights, and then they maintain the rate. So there's ways you can work around the capital upfront costs. They keep the monthly bills the same, but we pay a difference upfront, or they're a city entity. We can work with them however we want this is something we really want to do. And as Tad said, there's a intrinsic value, I think, especially on major corridors. You drive down 210 and the lights, you don't really notice them. They're just the standard Cobra head. We have them all over town. I definitely think, you drive through downtown Crosby now, very similar lights that they have as option one. There's definitely a different
you
feel.
notice it right away.
Yep.
Yeah, last time
Yep.
I went there, I noticed it immediately.
But yeah, there's different ways we can look at different options too. We don't have to make a decision tonight. We get some good direction here and go back with BPU and see how this would change. We could do like an example project. Maybe we just take Highway 210. We know how many poles are on it. Maybe we have Todd Wickland run a couple scenarios for us. Okay, if we were to replace all these with new lights, for example, option one, how would that change our monthly bill? Or would it make more sense for the city to pay the difference in the capital costs up front? Or what could we work out with BPU to, make sure we're whole, but still get what we want?
I think finding out just the way that this stuff is billed and the way that we're paying for this kind of stuff, it would be smart to take a step back probably and do something like that.
So do you want us to look at, for example, next year's project, if we were to go like in North Brainerd, replace all the residential light fixtures with a new type fixture, how many would it be? How would it change our monthly billing from BPU, or what would the capital cost difference be? And then do the same for 2025 on a large scale commercial project.
Yeah, and I think we just, instead of making it extra work with all these options for them, just compare our existing option, our standards, with the next most expensive.
Maybe that's not a decision we can make tonight, but eliminate those higher ones and go
Yeah.
with 2 and 1 as you suggested. And then I think what Paul's suggesting would help me.
I would still like to see if we could find a lower cost, aesthetically pleasing option. I mean, even if we change our billing and how we do it in capital, we're still paying for it.
If you
And
get-
that's kind of what I'm looking at, so.
But if you can find the numbers based on these, and you find something that's less expensive than these, but comparable and something that we like to see, we can always do the math on our own from there. So.
Just for clarification, you said that the pole cost is the same, but we're talking a different color, so a different colored pole is
I don't
coming
think they'll be any different if you change them to black.
in. Okay, so we could hypothetically change the color of all the poles, change the color of all the lights.
That's what I'm kind of saying. It's
And have it
more
be
of
the
a, yeah, I mean, you could certainly change the color of the mast arm and the pole to black and to keep the same Cobra head.
The light fixture, it sounds like is the big difference. So I don't know if by changing it to black, you just automatically add more.
Well, is there a
Cost.
Cobra option that comes in black? Would be my
They
question.
come in all different colors.
And
Yeah, that might be a good option just to have.
the other thing I just wanted to say is that from the way you're looking at it, it becomes a project cost. So it becomes, as we're doing a project, we're adding it to the project cost. So yeah, looking at North Brainerd and seeing what that's gonna be when you're going through those, that's gonna be a much larger project, cause what do you got, like 10 by 10? So you're, 100 intersections over there?
No,
Isn't it about 10 by 10?
it's, We're doing Juniper Street.
Well,
10
not, I mean,
blocks.
just, let's say all of North Brainerd. So if
Yeah.
you were to do all of North Brainerd, that's a lot of intersections. But if we were looking at, like, let's say Mill Avenue, or if we're looking at 210, you can look at that as being a part of the project cost. And that's a much different ordeal then.
I think that would give us some feedback too. You mentioned the public feedback. You do a corridor, you hear people love it or if they hate it,
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree, there's that intrinsic value, something nice that people can, enjoy. We all talked about the different communities we've seen this in, so I think people like it. On paper, it doesn't look so good at the
Right.
moment. But as you said, like, once you, break it up by project costs, and if there's ways we can,
I think I got enough direction to come up with something.
Okay.
I think that'd be.
Kind of
Yeah,
stick
so
to
we don't
option
really need 'em-
2 and 1 is what I'm hearing. Do some couple of different scenarios where we're either paying for it up front and then look for different fixtures that might be maybe a step lower than options 1 or 2, and then see what that is and kind of put them into real life scenarios,
Yeah.
like next year's projects or 2025 projects.
I guess to be fair, comparing 210 through Brainerd to 210 through Crosby or Main Street in Nisswa, we have a lot more lights to buy, so we should just be smart about it. Make sure we make the right decision. Good? All right. We don't have any more items unless anybody wants to yell about anything or get something off their back.
Always. You want me to fill time?
Parking lots.
You got part 20 minutes.
I got at least 45 minutes on parking lots.
Here, give us the mayor's report now.
Report. Things are
record
great. Our tree looked really good early in the day, and then we lit it up, and the top half is missing.
What did we find out?
We plugged that thing in 5 times.
It
worked every
I heard that.
Just wore out the dang plug, that's what you did.
Yeah.
goes and plugs it in. I stand under the tree, and he's like, yeah. Everyone's kinda going,
It always has to be the top half that goes out, not the bottom half that you could actually,
Yeah,
we're gonna get
we
Beaver
probably
out there
should
and get in the
adjourn.
bucket truck and see what we can figure out.
Yeah, we could adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now you can say